Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Moran. I'm the author of the superhero novel trilogy called Believers. We are reading a chapter from book one today. Let me share my screen so you can see exactly what I'm showing. And here we go. Chapter 21, Reaching Out. Mrs. Miller woke up on Sunday morning feeling uncomfortable and relaxed, wearing pajamas and not expecting guests. She walked around the house and took care of little chores here and there. She wandered into Jerry's room to make sure things were neat and clean. When she opened his bedroom door that particular morning, however, she saw someone in his bed. She gasped, and the person began to stir. She was about to go get her husband when she heard her son's voice saying, "Mom?" Mrs. Miller gave out a sigh of relief as she approached the bed. "Jerry, is that you?" Mrs. Miller asked. As Jerry turned over to see his mother, she gave him a warm hug and began asking questions. "What are you doing here?" "I was doing police work late last night and wanted to sleep at home," Jerry answered. "What time did you get in? How come you didn't say anything?" Mrs. Miller asked. "I came in late and didn't want to wake you up." "Oh, Jerry, you know that's never a problem." "Thanks, Mom." Mrs. Miller gave her son a kiss on the forehead and said, "I'll go down and make us a nice breakfast. Come down when you're ready. I'm sure your father will be happy to see you too." Jerry took his time getting ready for before breakfast. He was not sure what to tell his parents. "Hey guys, I kidnapped a female gang leader last night." Did not seem like the best way to start a conversation. He was not good at hiding the truth, but he also did not want his parents to worry about it. Jerry continued thinking about what to say as he walked slowly to the living room. He soon heard the television and figured his dad was watching sports. Then he heard a news reporter telling a familiar story. Last month, the Miller family was attacked by three female gang members from Dynamite City. They invaded the Millers' home and fired guns wildly. Luckily, no one was hurt, and two of the criminals were arrested that day, but one escaped. The police were unable to apprehend her until last night. Details on how they caught her have not yet been revealed. We'll keep you updated on the story, along with others coming up next. Jerry walked into the living room. His parents were on the couch looking right back at him. Jerry's father asked, "Is that why you slept here last night?" Jerry gulped, regretting the fact that he did not tell his parents first. Mr. Miller turned to his wife and said, "Finish making breakfast while Jerry and I do some work in the backyard." Mrs. Miller agreed and went to the kitchen, knowing they needed to have a father and son talk. Jerry followed his father to the garage, and they grabbed a few gardening tools. Then they went to the backyard and began digging holes for new plants. After a few minutes of work, Mr. Miller said, "All right, Jerry, tell me how you were involved in that news report." Jerry gave his father a synopsis, including how he entered Diamond City, found Little Red, and brought her to the police station. Mr. Miller seemed slightly impressed, but serious, as if something more important was on his mind. After Jerry finished his story, Mr. Miller said, "I'm glad you caught her, son, but was it necessary?" "She tried to kill you, Dad. I had to get her back," Jerry cried out. "Jerry, I appreciate what you do, but I'm trying to tell you that sometimes it's not good to go after people." "I'm a cop, Dad. It's my job," Jerry replied with an annoyed tone. He could not believe his father was lecturing him about why it was bad to capture the person who almost killed him. Mr. Miller noticed that his son was frustrated, so he tried reasoning with him. "I know how you feel, son, but what if more gang members come after you as a result of this? What if there are consequences you're not ready to deal with?" "There are always consequences, Dad. I had to do this for you and everyone else," Jerry screamed, as if carrying a heavy burden. Jerry's emotional reaction surprised Mr. Miller. He felt confused, as if he was missing a major part of the story. He thought Jerry had gone after Little Red for revenge, but he now thought there might be more to it. He looked closely at his son and asked, "What do you mean for everyone?" While tracking down Little Red, I saw memories of people she had robbed and attacked. I saw all the terrible things she had done to others, and it made me want to catch her even more. Jerry continued talking about gang members, corrupt cops, and other problems he witnessed in Diamond City. Mr. Miller listened to every word and soon found himself speechless. He realized that his son was no longer a boy. He was now a young man with responsibilities. He also had the power to create change and help others. For the very first time, Jerry's father viewed his son as a hero. Mr. Miller gave Jerry a great big hug and walked proudly back inside the house with his arm around his son's shoulder. Mrs. Miller had just finished making breakfast, and they all sat down to eat. She cooked eggs, pancakes, and slices of ham. During their meal, Jerry received a phone call from Captain Grimes. He ignored the call, but the captain left a loud, heated voice message commanding Jerry to report to duty immediately. Unfortunately, Jerry had other plans before returning to headquarters. He finished his breakfast, kissed his parents goodbye, and teleported to the entrance of the hospital. Now that Little Red had been captured, Jerry wanted to report the good news to Tanya. He walked into the hospital and greeted Gladys, the front desk clerk. She smiled and helped Jerry register as a guest. When she handed him a visitor ID sticker, she perked up and said, "Hey, sugar, can you give me another autograph?" Jerry nervously replied, "Sorry, doing police work. Gotta go. Bye." Jerry scurried off to the nearest elevator as the woman waved excitedly and said, "You know where to find me." Jerry found Tanya's room, but there was another visitor inside. Jerry waited quietly outside and listened to the conversation with his super hearing. It was the old man from the store in Dynamite City. He had brought Tanya a bottle of soda and apologized for not helping in the incident. Despite recent events, she was not angry and reassured the old man that it was not his fault. She understood what would have happened if the old man had interfered. She also thanked him for visiting, and then the old man walked to the door. Jerry opened it for the old man and gasped. He looked as if he did not know what to say. So Jerry spoke first. "Thank you for all your help. If it wasn't for you, I would have never caught Little Red." The old man looked surprised and asked, "How did I help you?" Jerry hesitated for a moment. He was about to divulge the whole story about his powers and seeing the old man's memories, but decided it was not necessary. Instead, he replied, "You helped me when I first entered the city and gave me a starting point for my investigation." The man looked at Jerry graciously and said, "As soon as I saw the news, I came to see the girl right away. After talking with her, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. And it's all thanks to you." Jerry nodded and extended his hand. The old man formally shook it, nodded, and then left. Jerry walked into Tanya's room and found her lying in bed. She smiled when she saw Jerry and said, "I heard the good news." Jerry smiled back and said, "I finally caught her, thanks to you and the old man." "I don't know how I helped, but thank you," Tanya replied, and then cringed for a moment. Jerry looked concerned and asked, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm still recovering. I guess I'm getting a little better every day." "How much longer will it be until you can get out of here?" "I don't know. The doctor said I was in bad shape, and it could be a few more weeks or even months," Tanya answered with disappointment in her voice. Jerry felt bad for her and had an idea. He walked back to the door, closed it, looked around cautiously, and then approached Tanya's bed, asking, "Can I try something? I promise I won't hurt you." Tanya seemed confused and said, "I don't understand. What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean, but I trust you." Jerry gently placed his hand on Tanya's shoulder and closed his eyes. After a few seconds, his body began glowing brightly with white energy. The energy soon transferred through Jerry's hand into Tanya's body. She remained quiet, embracing an unusual feeling of peace and comfort. The white energy enveloped Tanya's whole body and then disappeared. She sat up slowly in bed, feeling healthier than before. She had a look of disbelief as she lifted her arms He took off the bed sheet and began looking at her body. Her wounds were healed. Her bruises were gone, and the pain was no longer there. She looked up at Jerry. He was sweating and breathing heavily. She could tell that whatever he did took a lot out of him. She softly hugged Jerry and said, "Thank you." Jerry left the room feeling tired after exerting energy to heal Tanya. Captain Grimes called Jerry again, but he could not return to headquarters yet. He had one more thing to do. Jerry walked over to Kevin Baker's hospital. A policeman was still guarding it, and Jerry approached him. "Hello, can I please see Kevin?" Jerry asked. "He's not accepting any visitors." "I just want to talk with him because I was involved in the incident that put him here in the first place." "I already told you, nobody's allowed to see him," the policeman repeated in a deep voice. Jerry paused for a moment and said, "Look, I'm asking you cop to cop. You know I won't hurt him. I only need a few minutes to clear things up. I feel responsible for what happened to him and his family, and I want him to know that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help." The policeman thought about it for a minute and said, "Fine. I'm only allowing this because I've been in your position before, but you only have 5 minutes." Jerry thanked the man and opened Kevin's door. Before walking in, Jerry could already feel Kevin's painful emotions. He had been brooding in there all alone, isolating himself from the rest of the world. Kevin needed a helping hand, and Jerry felt determined to fulfill that role. Jerry entered the room, closed the door behind him, and waited for Kevin to acknowledge him. Kevin looked at Jerry with indifference and asked, "What do you want?" Jerry nervously responded, "I just wanted to apologize for everything," and Kevin immediately cut Jerry off and exclaimed, "You ruined my life, and I know I can't fix the past, but you can't fix anything. My life is over, and it's all your fault." Jerry shook his head and said, "There's got to be something I can do to help you, Kevin. There has to be." "No, there's nothing you can do. Get out of here now," Kevin screamed. Jerry dropped his head down in shame, feeling like he failed. He did not want to look at Kevin. He did not want to see the eyes of someone who completely hated him. In a soft voice, Jerry said the following prayer: "I'm sorry for what I've done. I hope you recover soon and get a second chance to do whatever you want." Kevin said nothing, feeling as if he could not say or do anything else to help. Jerry left the room. He felt worse than he did before entering. And that's it. We just finished chapter 21. I hope you all liked it. And hopefully I'll see you all for the next video. Thank you so much.